Welcome to Inner Peace Better Health, where we explore the deep connection between emotional calm, mental clarity, and overall well being. Today, I am joined by Hayley Hunter Hines, a globally recognized wellness futurist, luxury experience architect, and the founder of Soul Sparkle Clinic. Haley's work blends science and soul, helping individuals and organizations create environment and practices that restore vitality, presence, and connection. In this episode, we are talking about cultivating inner peace in a modern world that often feels anything but peaceful, and how peace can be designed, embodied, and sustained. Welcome to the show, Haley.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Wonderful. So, Haley, before we dive into it, I want to know when you hear the phrase inner peace, what does it personally mean to you right now in this season of life?
I think for me, peace ultimately is alignment. So, where the place of what I've been dreaming of, what I've been creating, who I am being, and who I am becoming are all kind of in uh, coming together in alignment. That feels very peaceful for me.
That is such a wonderful perspective. It is like, it is so grounding, like, lived definition already shifts from an idea into something human and accessible.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like coming from the ethereal or the higher dimensions into the third dimension, right? So it's the dream state, the desires and all the things that you've probably been thinking about and bringing them all together into one real physical present moment.
I agree, absolutely. So, many people believe inner peace means withdrawing from ambition, responsibility, or even desire. From what you have seen in your work, what is the biggest misconception about people carrying in about this inner peace?
I don't think that it's a disconnection of desire. To me, it's more the culmination point where you feel like you're exactly where you're supposed to be, surrounded by the people that love and support you the most in a place that supports your overall well-being. So to me, it's like, wow, I finally found the place, the people, and the purpose that are so aligned with who I am and who I'm becoming. That creates that element of inner peace that then you emanate that out into your environment, your family, your community, etc.
Absolutely. This peace is so not about shrinking life, but about how we relate to it. And the way you reframed it alone feels so liberating.
Well, I think we judge ourselves a lot. We think it has to be perfect. We think it has to look or be a certain way. And to me, it's more just stepping fully into that authenticity, like the truth of who we really are, that is the path to inner peace.
Absolutely. So beautifully framed. Let's just stay with that for a moment. When inner peace feels inaccessible, what are the deeper patterns underneath? Like, is it nervous system dysregulation, environmental stress, disconnection from meaning, or something else you notice repeatedly?
Well, I think it could be a combination of all those things you mentioned, right? So when we are not regulated, when our nervous system is fried on various levels, when we're not surrounded by people that love and support us, when we are not in a place that feels supportive to our nervous system. So for example, if you're in a place that doesn't feel lovely or beautiful or you don't thrive there, those are all going to be areas where you can get a little stuck, right? So to me it's It's the people. Am I surrounded by the people that truly love and support me, where I can be my full self? That creates peace for me. Authenticity creates peace. Am I in a place that supports my environment in a way that feels really good? Is it lovely? Is it calm? Is it peaceful? Do I feel like, do I feel the way I want to feel? That's a huge thing. And then am I doing work or spending my time in a way that honors my higher self, honors my truth, and is the highest level of service that I can give to the world right now? Those to me are the ways that create the most inner peace. That it's like the culmination of those three things that create the peace within.
I agree. And uh, it sounds like that peace begins long before mindset. It's like at a level of safety, embodiment, and belonging.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's it. Safety, embodiment, and belonging. And I think anytime we're out of alignment or in a place where something's a little sticky, those three areas of focus, if you can go back to those, get back to the basics, refine them, then you're one step closer to the path of inner peace and well-being.
I agree. And your work so beautifully integrates this design, ritual, and somatic awareness. So, for someone listening right now who feels constantly overstimulated, what is the one way they can begin cultivating inner peace without overhauling their entire life?
Well, I think we've talked about this before, and I feel to me it's a very, it's a very easy framework of evaluation. So it's sensory first. So it would be looking at where maybe lighting, sound, temperature, frequency are impacting you in a way that you're not aware of. So I'll use myself as an example just because it's easy. I know that if I'm in a place where there's fluorescent light, bright light, harsh lighting, harsh artificial lighting, that is going to be an issue for me. So I eliminate that or I remove myself from situations where that's the case. Same thing with loud noises or a lot of external input from technology. So, for example, if I'm in a place where the television is on all the time or loud music, etc., that's going to be an issue. And I remove myself or I modify that input. So again, it's really being able to carefully curate the environment that you put yourself in. And this could be people too. So if there's people that are constantly negative, cranky, um, argumentative, etc., those are not people that I choose to be around, and I eliminate that from my environment. So to me, the path is really carefully curating the environment that you're in and eliminating the stimulation that is not going to be in your highest and best, and creating with relentless determination, creating the environment where you can feel the way you want to feel. If you want to feel peaceful and you want to feel calm, you need to curate your environment to support that way of being. And you need to eliminate fiercely anything that does not support that outcome.
I must say, uh, you know, everything that you've said right now, it feels doable and compassionate and not like another task to perform perfectly. It takes off a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I think it becomes a way of being. It becomes a way of living. And if you ask yourself, what is the most loving thing that I can do for myself right now? And then do that thing. Like that's the path. So if it's, wow, I don't really feel good sitting at this table full of people talking about things that I don't feel comfortable hearing, or I'm in a place where the input of the television and the music and the chatter, etc., is so stimulating and not in a good way, then the most loving thing I can do for myself is to remove myself from that situation. And then you just leave and let it be okay. I think we judge ourselves and we make it such a bigger deal, if you will, around making choices. But if you just choose to be around the people that love you and environments that nourish you and nurture you, then at the end of the day, you're going to be a much more loving, caring, gracious, kind, grounded version of yourself, which is really what the world needs at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And it sounds just perfect the way you have put it. So tell us, how does the absence of inner peace usually show up in everyday life? Not like in dramatic burnout moments, but in subtle daily signals that people might be overlooking.
Mm. Well, I think you'll notice in the way that you feel. You'll notice in the way that you interact with other people, whether it be your immediate family. Most of the time, it's going to be your immediate family or people that you do your day to day life with. It's in the way that you're showing up short tempered, irritable, um, quick to anger, not in your most gracious, loving form, right? So it's that philosophy that as above, so below, as within, so without. So if you're not peaceful within, you will create more chaos and havoc and drama outside of yourself because you don't feel it. You don't feel calm and steady within yourself. So that's why I think anytime you're wanting to make a change, it begins within. And the sooner you can allow yourself to create that inner calm and peace in all the ways that you need to do it, that's when your external self, the way you show up, the way you relate to others will shift and change and it will be lovely.
Absolutely, I agree. And there are these small signs that we usually avoid and we usually don't take it seriously, but they really remind us that body and environment are always speaking to us, even
Mm.
when we are too busy to listen to them.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think things will be reflected to you whether you want them to be or not, right? So at the end of the day, we really are mirrors of each other, and so whatever we are putting out into the world is what we're going to receive back. So if we're putting out love and grace and compassion and calm and peace, then that's what we experience in the world, first of all. And that's also what we receive back. Now, obviously, there's exceptions, but in general, whatever we show up and we put out into the world is what we're going to receive back. So that's why it's so important for anyone that's listening. And I'm sure most of the followers on your podcast would agree that their intention is to create inner peace, right? So we create that and then we emanate that out into the world. And that's actually how we shift and change our external experience by embodying inner peace within, and then we understand that we emanate whatever it is that we embody within ourselves.
Absolutely. That is so beautifully said. And I believe that the way you put it, that there is something which we all go through. It's absolutely true. And I also feel like that inner peace is rarely linear.
Mm.
So when in life inevitably disrupts our sense of calm, how do we return to peace without judgment or feeling that we have failed?
I think the sooner that we can get over the concept of failure, the better. So, a lot of us are taught our whole lives that, well, if you don't do this, if you don't do this, if you don't do this, it's failing. But if you actually look at some of the most successful people in the world over time, their whole philosophy is that, yeah, I did this and I messed it up and I tried again and I got it right the next time. So to me, failure is really just it's more refinement. I like the word refinement versus failure because is it really failing? Like people that say, "Oh, well, I was in this relationship and it failed." No, you spent X amount of time in a situation where you were learning how to love yourself more or how to love another human more. Is that really failing? I think it's more refining what you want next in the future. And so to me, it's a reframe of the word failure. I don't think things are failures anymore. I think they're refining us into who we need to be and how we need to show up and learning the lessons that we needed to learn along the way to become the one that we are now. That's what I think.
Absolutely, I agree. And the way you have put it, this idea of returning rather than fixing everything, it makes it feel like relationship rather than a goal, and it makes it so peaceful, like less pressurizing, I must say.
Yeah, and really, why is there pressure anyway? I think as we look outside of ourselves, as we're taught to do, what does society want? What do my teachers want? My parents, whoever it is that's the authority, the less we give that meaning, and the more we go within and say, how did I feel about that situation? Or what did I learn from being in that relationship or in that job or whatever the thing might be? It's allowing ourselves to become the ones that we've always wanted to be without the external pressure or the expectation of what everyone else wanted for us. And I mean, that to me is liberation. That's freedom, ultimately.
And whatever you have talked about today, I'm pretty sure it is going to land with a lot of our listeners tonight, and it is going to help them. So I must say, for anyone who is listening right now, who feels overwhelmed or disconnected, I want you to ask yourself this: what would it feel like to design your life, even in small ways, around how you want to feel rather than what you feel pressured to achieve? Inner peace is not something we earn, everything is done. It is something we cultivate through presence, environment, and self trust again and again. So, Haley, where can our listeners learn more about your work and experiences that you're creating?
So, the best way to stay in touch is on my website, my little online home, which is soulsparkleliving.com. And then also in social media with either Soul Sparkle or my full name, Hayley Hunter Hines. So on Facebook and Instagram, it's my name, Hayley Hunter Hines. And most other places, it's either that or Soul Sparkle.
Wonderful. Sounds amazing. I will make sure to include all these details into the show notes. Thank you so much for joining us on this conversation and making it with so much depth, clarity, and showing so much kindness on this conversation on inner peace, better health. It was an amazing conversation with you. And dear listeners, if today's conversation just resonated with you, take a moment to reflect on what peace looks like in your own life, not as a perfection, but as a practice. So, until next time, be gentle with yourself and remember that inner peace and better health grows together, one intentional moment at a time.